Glanville made this video because he wants my prediction and my opinion of an upcoming UFC fight. I have been a professional mixed martial arts fighter since I turned 17. Anyone who knows me personally knows that my statistics percentage for picking fights is right up in the 98.5 percentile of success. So I've only out of the hundreds of thousands of fights I've watched and analyzed as a fighter, and understanding being in a fight, what a fight is about. I know about fighter psychology for two reasons. One is from experience of being a gladiator myself and understanding what I was going through psychologically with everything. And I understand it from the coach's perspective for having guys that are successful, because my coach was is Dr. Rousey, doctor for a reason. She's got a PhD in mathematics statistics, so she's very, very smart. But she is also a world champion / living legend icon in the judo world, for doing her part. And now Ronda's doing her part, and so forth and so on. So my understanding psychology for warriors is better than most fight fans. I can look at two fighters before they fight and tell you, based on strict just body mannerisms, where they're at in their training psychologically. And you get your psychological training through your physical training. But I can tell you who's going to win a fight far enough in advance, because I know what world-class training does to your mind and what happens to your mind when you're not having that level of training. So here we go. Who's going to win out of Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holmes? First of all, I saw just today, I saw the ticket sales, what do they call that?
Press conference.
Ticket sales press conference. Okay. Anyway, I watched them, and what they had a table set up where Dana White, the UFC president, was in the middle, and then you got the two women's champions, the tiny one and the bigger one, and they're together in one table, and then on the other side of the podium is the two challengers of these two women, and they're all answering questions. So based on all the questions they were asked, I compiled that like an interview. Okay, the press gets to ask all these questions. It's more or less like an interview, and they give their honest answers. And from that, I can distinguish who's going to win the fight, because I know where their mind is at. And today I saw a little something concerning about Ronda's psychology. I didn't see the confidence she usually has. If you listen to her answer questions when she's focused on a fight, it is about her. See, the way you want to break down a fighter psychology is like this. We're going to take a champion and we're going to take a challenger. You got two different kinds of challengers when it comes to a champion. Okay, for the most part, the champion is calm, cool, collected, confident, very self-aware of their skills. A champion is very, very comfortable. They always got a target press, so they've always got a target on their back, so they're always pressed to make sure their defenses are strong enough. Now, for the two challengers, okay, who's going to win this belt is the question. Who's going to be the one to beat the champ out of these two? Challenger number one, his interviews go a little something like that. When they say, how does it feel to be fighting the champ? Okay, we'll just say that's the one question. Challenger one, who's going for the belt, says, this has been my life's dream. I'm a consummate athlete. This is everything I've been working for, is that belt. If the answers to their interview are based on the belt alone, this person's going to win. This person's going to lose. they're going to lose badly, because their focus is on the belt and not the person wearing the belt. Their focus is on the position, the title, all the goodies that come with it. These are all stuff they're not going to see because they're wanting the wrong thing. Their motivation is not beating this person. Their motivation is wearing that crown. So when a challenger goes and you hear them in their interview go, man, that belt is mine, I deserve to be champion, that belt, and you hear a lot about that belt, their focus is on the winnings. Their focus is not on the fight. Then you have that other challenger, and they ask the same question, how do you feel to be fighting the champion? And that challenger's answer comes back with, well, first of all, let's give it up for the champ. That champ is a great champion. That champion is there because they are the best. So let's give it up to them. They created a path and the opportunity for me to have my spot right now. And other than that, I'm not really going to worry about the champ because my training is going well. My camp is going. And you hear nothing but about them. It's not that they're selfish. It's just that they're more self-aware than the other one who wants the belt. Because the other one who wants the belt, and they're not aware that's all they want. They're not aware of the person wearing the belt. So they're not aware of their, themselves and how they're acting. They're not self-aware. And self-awareness promotes maturity, fighter maturity, and focus. So then you got the other challenger who is very self-aware, who understands the situation they're in, understands the level of the champion they have, and this is a person who is going into this fight with extreme intelligence. They are studying every aspect of this fight. They're taking it one step at a time. They're very calm, cool, and collective, and this is the challenger that will become the next champion. With that being said, when I see all of the other competitors that Ronda faces, all of her competitors say the same thing. All their answers are the same answers. That they all give her praise. Okay, there's a lack of confidence right there in themselves. That's one of the reasons they fail. It's psychology. So they don't feel they're ready to fight Ronda, but they're going to do it anyway because it's an opportunity, and as a professional fighter, you'll pass those up. Plus, it's a bigger payday. So even if you did lose, you're going to lose and walk away pretty freaking wealthy, more than you've been in a long time. So it's a business move. It's a smart business move to fight the champ. Should you fight the champ when you're not ready? Well, every real fighter will tell you that's not a good idea. Because the champ has already got everything they need. You're still working for the things you want to be in that position. With that being said, Ronda has always been the one to say the same thing too. I will dominate. I am going to go and I'm going to impose my will and I'm going to tear this girl apart. And very, very primal and predatory Rousey style combat. That's the way we were trained, just to be vicious in combat. And so my prediction on the Holly Holmes Ronda Rousey fight is a little more in depth than most people's, because I see more things than most people do, and I understand the Rousey fighting system better than most people do, and I understand the psychology that's taught and the way we approach fights. And I saw all that blown out of the water today during Ronda's interviews. Flat out. Her psychology was not there. Her psychology went from being very passionate about combat, very dominating apex predator warrior, to let's sell this fight, to ticket sales numbers. Yes, it was a ticket sales conference of some sort, but it's to help sell the fight, of course. But when you're not selling your fight, you're selling a different fight. She sold that heavyweight fight, a male's heavyweight fight. Yeah, well, I think all the fights are going to be great. It's a stacked card, but I can't wait for the heavyweight fight between Mark Hunt and... I mean, she's not even selling herself anymore. There's a dramatic shift and change in her psyche right now that most people won't see or know. So all of a sudden, they're asking her questions about Holly Holm, and she's not focusing on Holly Holm and her answers. Her answers are more focused on well, I'm great. I'm glad to be here. I'm loving this, and da da da. It's more focused on where she's at in Australia at the point in time. And I've been in that position too. When I got flown out, I got to be the main event in a Hawaiian fight. And let me tell you something about them sumos, or the Samoans. They're scary. There are some scary warriors because they're gentle and beautiful people. The most beautiful people you ever meet in your life. As far as individuals go, they're incredibly big-hearted, but they will fight to the death when it comes to their family. And they are big and vicious when they fight. So, you know, when I went over there, I was given the whole silver plate, good golden contract, moved me out to Hawaii, train there full time, as Hawaii would adopt me to be one of theirs. It was one of the best deals in my career at that point in time. And I noticed something while I was out there training 2 weeks in advance. I was out there for 2 weeks before the fight. And while I was out there training, I was falling in love with Hawaii more than I could focus on anything else. I mean, just Hawaii was doing something to me. The islands are very peaceful. They're beautiful. You see them in pictures and videos, and they are what they appear to be. They're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous if you come from what they call the mainland of the United States. And that can be a serious spiritual distraction because it connects with you and it draws you into a peaceful and beautiful cultured nature, which means it pulls you away. You're supposed to be there to train for a fight, and now this spiritual island has now captivated your soul and it's pulling you into a peaceful direction. It messes your training up. It messes your head up. It pulls on your spirit. And I think that's what's happening to Ronda right now, just because she is in love with Australia. And in her press conference with all those Australians asking her questions, it was not, they were asking her questions about her training and her fighting. And the number one, one thing that stood out, another red flag is, she had said a remark where she, they asked her, are you still training? At one time you had a striking coach from Australia. Are you still training with him? Is he still part of your crew? And she did a big no-no. She did a big no-no in the Warriors Code of Conduct. She gave away her training secrets while her opponent is on the other side of her. The old Ronda Rousey would never do that. When it comes to tearing people apart, you're not going to tell them how you train. You're not going to let it out in media and press. You make it clear that these guys are lucky to even watch you train, because you're in training and you're vicious and you're mean and you're getting ready to hurt somebody. And these dudes they can come in, but they're going to view you from a distance and you're going to do your thing because they're invading on your home turf while you're getting ready for war. And if they don't like what they fucking see, they can get the fuck out of the training hall because it's for war. It's not a game. You're training to really hurt somebody, and you're training to get hurt. So you have to switch that on and off.
Roger, can I ask you a question?
What?
What did she say about her training? You said she gave her secrets away. What did she say about her training?
Yeah, she said, they said, well, is that Australian striker still with you? She's an Australian, they're all fans. And her response was, well, yeah, in fact, he's bringing in my sparring partner who was somebody that fought Holly Holm and really took her the distance.